This is a Together Adventure podcast.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Behind the Screen. I am your host, Scott McArdle, and today we're bringing you a very special episode recorded live at PAX AUS. In October 2024, myself and 4 other West Australians were invited to present at Australia's largest gaming convention. We travelled to Melbourne, where we hosted a panel all about how the rules of improvisation can level up your tabletop gaming experience. So sharpen your pencils and get a fresh sheet of lined paper. This is Yes and Why Every TTRPG Player Should Take an Improv Class.
Heck yeah! Hello, PAX AUS!
Hello, friends!
Thank you so much for joining us today for Yes and Why Every TTRPG Player Should Take an Improv Class, which I said to my wife the other day, sounds like a threat. So before we kick off today, though, our presenters here would like to acknowledge that we are standing on the banks of the Birrarung and pay our respects to the traditional owners of Naarm, the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to their elders past and present and to all First Nations people who are here with us today. Our entire team has travelled from Noongar Budja and is so grateful to have the opportunity to speak on the lands of the Kulin Nation, and what a beautiful nation it is and what a beautiful land it is that you have over here. We recognise the ongoing significance of the Birrarung, much like our very own Derbil Yurrigan, to traditional owners as a life source and a meeting place for millennia, and seek to honour this long-standing tradition of building community and exchanging ideas on these lands. My name is Scott McArdle. I am the showrunner for Improv RPG. It's a WA-based comedy show where we play all of your favourite TTRPGs live on stage. We've been doing so for a decade. We haven't quite made it over here, but stay tuned. I'm also an award-winning theatre maker, writer, director, and educator, and I've been playing these games for 17 years of my life. I'm thrilled to be hosting a panel today that aims to demystify the dark art known as role play. And I'm joined by these lovely people to my right. Let's go down the table and meet you all.
Hi, hello. For those who've not seen me on a panel before this weekend, I am Kate. I'm O'Sullivan Kate. I run a lot of panels at PAX, apparently. I play a lot of TTRPGs. I'm a trained improviser from Improv Theatre Sydney and also over at IO in Chicago. And I have a lot of belief that improv is real important for TTRPG players. I could talk for the hour. Well, I won't, but I could.
Hello, I'm Rhianna Hall. I'm an improviser over in Perth, doing Improv RPG and the Big Hoo-Ha. And I've been playing tabletop role-playing games, a variety of them, for about 10 years now. So it's a good world.
Hi everyone, I'm Wayward Sinny. I'm an award-winning improviser and actor and TTRPG player and content creator and streamer and all the other hats and slashes that I wear. I love improv and I've been doing it for almost 15 years, and I've been playing D&D and other TTRPGs since I was a wee lad. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here and to talk about it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Stephen Platt. I'm also a long-term Dungeons & Dragons player / improviser. My PhD is specifically in science fiction and the theatre. So it was looking at the examination of genres that we all love to play in live spaces. And I also like telling jokes and looking very silly on stage.
Now, before we jump into questions, and there's some audience ones as well, I just want to grab a show of hands from you. I want to know who here gets really anxious when they have to role play a character just around your own table. Yeah. Maybe you feel silly or like people are going to laugh at you. Just still. Totally. Even still. Yep. Yeah. Who freezes when their plan fails or they have to do something unexpected all of a sudden? Yeah. Yep. DMs out there, who struggles when your players make unexpected choices? Oh, the DMs came to play. And finally, who is all of these things but you're too anxious to even raise your hand? I'm going to assume everyone.
Well done for putting up your hand, those of you who put up your hand.
Very brave, very brave.
Before we kick in and hand over to our lovely experts here, as someone who's been doing this for a very long time and runs a lot of live games, these are supernatural anxieties to have. being creative and acting in particular is an exercise in vulnerability. You open up a part of yourself to other people, their reactions, thoughts, and opinions. Now, we're all really privileged to have been trained or be practicing performance for a very long time, but I truly believe at the heart of my practice that creativity is not something that you learn at university. It's something that's inherent in all people. Some of us are just skilled and privileged enough to go and study them or do them for a living. So everyone has the ability to be creative. Don't ever doubt yourself that you're not and you don't have that ability. It's a part of being human. It's a part of being alive. Being rejected can be painful. But on the flip side, being celebrated for your creative choices can be really enriching and they help us grow. There's so much research now that shows that this isn't just like, a feel-good, wholesome thing. This is fact. This is how it makes us feel. This helps us grow as people and changes people towards a better version of ourselves or a different version of ourselves. This panel stemmed from a lot of people approaching me after I've been doing shows or in education or anything like that, all with the same fears that you have. And my big tip was always take an improv class. Someone asked a question out there and put one forward that was, how old is too old to take an improv class? My opinion is never. I'm someone who's always like, we are always learning and growing as people. There are things that like I, as a DM of 17 years, have started doing that's like, why haven't I been doing this for 17 years? This is why haven't I had this little thing and post-it notes and like all of these little things. You learn and you grow, and you better believe that all the way up until I die at the ripe old age of 120 in 102 years. He's a DM who loves math. You better believe I'm going to be taking improv classes and doing professional development. Panelists, do you disagree with how old is too old?
No. And my general sentence is, you may think that improv classes are for young people. There are improv classes literally for everyone at different physicality levels as well. So don't let your physical disabilities get in the way of that either.
Yeah, and if you're not finding one of your age, do the call out. Other people will always want to do what you're doing. They'll just be afraid to ask out as well. Ask around your age group, stuff like that, and just be like, who wants to do this thing? Let's learn it. Let's hire an artist to run it or someone who's run it before. Artists really want work.
Yeah.
They really want to pay their mortgages and feed their greyhounds, please. Please, so deeply,
That's
so truly.
Specific.
Yeah.
Now, the Venn diagram overlap between what happens at a TTRPG table, so tabletop role-playing games, for those who don't know, D&D, Call of Cthulhu, millions of others, so many great ones. What happens at those tables and what happens on stage in improv is pretty much a circle. The great thing about improv is that it comes with some guiding principles or golden rules that are really easy to learn. And we're gonna teach you these now. These are kind of the first things that you learn when you do improv. They can vary slightly, and look, every rule is made to be broken, but it's good to know them. So consider this your first free of charge improv class. All right, our rules. We've got these ones up here. The big one is yes and. Now, I'm going to get these guys to sort of explain some of these rules. I am going to bounce off this one as a game master, because there's a very specific TTRPG kind of spin that we do on this at Improv RPG, and that I'm sure a lot of you do it. So, yes and. Does anyone want to jump in and just like give us a little quick breakdown of what this is?
Agree and add.
Agree and add.
Like, jump on the idea. I call it jumping on the grenade. And add something to it.
Webster's dictionary, totally. Agree and add. Now, for GMs out there, and for anyone playing games where you're rolling dice, you can't yes and everything, because the dice do dictate success and failure. So my favorite one, and my favorite one to say, is also use no but, okay? Doesn't mean no buts.
Sometimes it means buts.
Sometimes it means buts. It means, okay, the thing you're going to do, say someone is trying to break out of a jail, try to pick the lock. No, you rolled a nat 1, you rolled a 2, your lockpick breaks. But having just fallen asleep, not far from you is a guard whose keys jingle at the waist. You're just giving a little bit of a, that didn't quite work, but we're going to keep moving the story along. I'm going to bounce off your great idea, and we're going to find something somewhere that's great. So that's a little variation, very specific to TTRPGs.
Yeah.
No but. I love it. And I love butts. Have each other's backs.
Like, support each other. And that doesn't mean necessarily you have to support every single decision that your collaborators are making as a character, because sometimes the tension of drama is in creating conflict. But like, build a supportive environment. like support each other in that sense. So make it a safe environment so people feel like they can take risks, because risks are also fun. Yeah.
It's okay to fail.
Yeah.
Number 3. It's okay to fail.
It is okay to fail. I work at a university and I see failure a lot.
We won't be saying what university he works at.
No, but what I will say is that failure, even at that level, and I know it's slightly funny, it is actually built in. Even in the courses that we teach at university, generally, for example, the first couple of assessments are a lower percentage because we allow room for failure. We allow for people to try it because often when people are coming into that space, it's new for them, it's hard, and we don't want to punish them for being new. And I think it's really important in improv spaces and in TTRPG spaces that you are letting people in and letting them into a space where that failure is okay. You can set up the first assessment. You can set up the task that might be a little bit difficult for them in a TTRPG so that they learn, okay, I can't just go in and swing a sword or throw a fireball and everything will be fine.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would also say that a lot of people equate failure to bad. You have failed, your idea was bad. Failure builds growth. Think of all of your favorite stories. They don't succeed at everything, and they shouldn't succeed at everything. Growth is really important. And we'll talk about character growth as something that you improvise and how you allow a character to grow naturally as well and in the direction you want. We'll talk about that later. But failure doesn't equal bad or that your choice was bad. It's just a part of the journey. All right.
Also, the failures are like, failures are fun. But also it means that when you do succeed, like you get that crit success on something, is so much more satisfying because you've failed so many times before that.
Big wins have to come with big losses.
Exactly.
Stakes. If you're succeeding at everything, the stakes are null and void. So it doesn't mean anything.
GMs, if your players are succeeding at everything, harder. Please.
And weigh their dice if they're succeeding at everything, all right?
Yeah.
I will say as well, like it might not be the popular opinion, but I actually love a nat 1.
Yeah.
Like I find
I
that
did that one last
so
night. It was the
fun.
best.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, 4, actively listen, be in the moment.
Don't like preload things. So, don't go into a scene or, like a moment in your game with thinking, I'm going to do this and this is going to happen. Because not everyone there has that same thought as well. So if you're listening to offers other people put down, you're going to have a better time. And then it goes back to that yes and as well of, listening out to what's being said and adding to that as well.
Yeah. And we've all played scenes or played games with people who what we call steamrolled. Like who make all the decisions and try and lead a party in a specific way. If you're all actively listening and being in the moment, you can support each other again, going back to making a safe environment, having each other's backs.
Yeah.
Number 5, be specific, be specific. That's it. All right, number 6. Be specific. Anybody?
There's not a lot to say. Like, the more specific you are, the more fun it is, because it's less fun to be like, I swing a sword. To be like, I take my giant axe. Thank you for the prop in the front row. Take my giant axe and swing it down on the guy's shoulder.
Great.
Then the failure, if you roll in that one, is funnier than I missed. It's like it bounced off his ear and just hit me in the face. It's more entertaining.
Like name things. Name things that you can name. Don't go naming everything in the world if you're not the GM. But like name your big axe. Name it cocksuckler or. Your
axe now has a name. You're welcome.
Yo, welcome. That's where my instincts go, everybody. I did not come preloaded.
I can't
with
believe
that.
you just made that name up.
Also,
It's built into my soul. I felt that
there's
one.
also a limit to the number of something faces that you can have in your world.
So true. But be specific, and also like in combat or other things like that, be specific. You can always ask, what do we see? You can ask more than that. Do I see someone who's looking like this? Do I see anything that's fragile? When you attack, I want to aim for the leg. Do I see any weaknesses? And the GM, a great GM, will riff off that and be like, amazing, insight roll, perception roll, phenomenal. You see that there is a scar that the GM is like, I didn't think of this before, but now it's here and this character has a scar and we're building this together. And it's this joint collaborative, and it's magic when that happens. That's where it sings, right? That's when it's really singing there. Make bold choices, number 6.
Make bold choices.
Oh my God, yell in bold. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, it ties a little bit into the failure thing. When you make bold choices, you're making a decision, and you're making a very clear decision when you're making a bold choice. Now, obviously, when you're making a bold choice, it has to be something that you choose. And if you're implementing it on, say, another player, it's not necessarily their choice to an extent, but it's a, obviously be considerate. But when you make those bold choices, it does mean that you are creating interest. You're creating something that everyone else can build upon as well. If you decide that you want to play a cowboy-themed character who starts every conversation with "Yeehaw, everybody!" like, stick to it. Just go with that. Go with that. And if it gets annoying after 3 years at the table, people will let you know.
Yeah, I have discovered that I have to tonight pull out a Russian accent for no reason other than a decision I made a year and a half ago. Like, great, good.
A very bold choice.
A bold choice that I'm bringing back at PAX, but here we are. Like, those kinds of things, they're fun as well.
Yeah.
Your fun moment comes, I don't want to play myself. I'm boring. I want to play someone fun who's different to me. If it's fantasy, I want to be the high elf that does something cool. Yep. If I'm playing, sci-fi, like Cyberpunk, Red or something, I want to play, Space Pirates. Let's be real. But I want to play something fun. So if I'm going to make those choices, the character gets to do the things that I wouldn't do.
And people love a bold choice. I feel like a lot of people and because they're worried about what other people will think. You can see that around tables of someone being like, oh, maybe I do this. Don't maybe. The DM will tell you if you do or don't once you've rolled, but you want to do that thing, you do that thing. That is an amazing gift to other people around you as well. It's awesome.
Can I just add one thing?
Of course you can.
Do that within the bounds of safety tools and session 0 and rules, please.
And we're going to get to that.
Guy.
We're going to get to that soon as well. Don't you worry. And tying into that is our final one. One of my favorite ones, play within a circle of expectations.
Yeah, so this is something that I really try and live by in improv, and I think it also definitely has a place in TTRPG. So when you're improvising a scene and you're doing collaborative storytelling, you're creating worlds together, you're creating scenes together, characters together. And so as you start establishing the rules of that world, the rules of those characters and how they interact, be gentle with your scene partner and play within a rule of like, what would logistically what would logically happen next? Like, let's play within that. Because if you go completely hard left and go, and now you're a fridge, that's going to break people's brain. Like, it doesn't further the story, it doesn't help anything, and it just makes for an unsatisfying scene. So yeah, try and play within a world of expectation, which I think a GM will probably help guide that a bit easier than if you're just doing an improv scene.
Going to put the GM hat on very quickly here and say that this is where the session 0 is a massive tool, where you set those expectations of what is the world. The GM is the one who is crafting that world often, a lot of the time with input from the players, which we love, of like, the first question a GM should ask their players is, what do you guys want to play? Or here's what I want to play. Are you down for this? And then being really aware of the constraints of that world. If you're doing a homebrew world, it doesn't help a player if you don't tell them that till they're there and they're going, well, I'm a cleric of Lathander. And you go, well, Lathander's not in my pantheon of religions, so this isn't going to work. But the player's done that build. There's also like the sense of like, the fridge might be fine in your world. If you go, this is a gag campaign, we're going to make each other laugh, we're going to do as many dumb jokes as we can. Incredible, as long as everyone's aware of that. But if we're playing something really rooted in some high fantasy or something very medieval focused that is a lot more mundane, low magic, it isn't a constriction on your creativity. It actually just allows you to focus in and play in that world. I, as I've gotten older, have gone from being like, we're going to play in all of the D&D worlds and mash them together and mash every monster together. I'm taking great joy now of being like, we're going to play in a world that's very much like this, a little bit smaller, but is more satisfying. And the stories we tell are more nuanced and interesting and specific. And then when that story's done, we play in a different world. And that's kind of fun. But also, if you want to play in a big giant world with no constrictions, that's fine. Make sure everybody knows that as well. This is also where in session 0, your triggers, your consent, really, really important. I know there might be some people out there going, this is some leftist woke bullshit. You're an idiot. I'm sorry, but people go through stuff in life. You get traumatized. That's how life works. And so being aware of what people are not about and don't make them happy and don't make them comfortable, you're not going to get the best play out of them. If people are not comfortable at the table, that's a problem because they're not going to be, what we talked about before, vulnerable at your table there, which is how people engage with their creativity the best. So going through triggers and consent, so important, and so important for the GM to lead that. I have a weird one in that as a player, I never want to come face to face with a giant spider. But as a GM, I'm wearing one right now. It's fine, I can't see it. But
Note to self: do not show Scott any photos of
don't
himself.
look. But as a GM, I love being a giant spider. I don't know why. It just is how it is for me. It's a weird thing.
I thought also that links to like there are tables that are for me to play at, and there are tables that are not for me to play at. Right? I'm needle phobic. This is a publicly known thing all over the internet. I don't want to play in a game that's high medical.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate. I have literally walked from games because of that.
Yeah.
That's the big X card. That's the big out. I'm out.
Totally.
We didn't have a proper session 0 for that. I left. It's my fault.
Woof.
But also the GM, like GMs, there's more fun ways. You can't have needles. You can have a whole bunch of other things that are equally terrifying and awful. You just can't have needles. But I also am allowed to walk out of a scene
Totally.
in the same way I'm allowed to be like, I'm done in a game. Do not hold yourself in a game you don't want to be in because you won't have fun and everyone else won't have fun.
Yep. If you can't be vulnerable and can't trust the people there, then it's not going to be fun. That's the basics.
Which is why you got to have each other's backs.
We're going
It's rule 2.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move into some questions. It kind of became questiony there. We're going to move on, but those are your 7 golden rules. If you tick down those, if you keep those in mind, if you take a picture of those and bring that up before you go into every session and use that as a guiding principle, it's going to help you on your path, and it's going to help you be a better player, and it's going to help you be a better scene partner as well, and a better leader of players too. So those are really important.
If you want to take a photo, this is your opportunity to take a picture of the slide.
Oh, the mouse is coming. He's on screen now. Panelists, question for all of you, or none of you. Hopefully one of you. What draws all of you in as creative people to improvise storytelling? Why do you do this? Why you do this?
Why do this?
Why you do this?
It really pays the bills. It really. Well, let me tell you.
Oh, man. Because whilst we've talked about the rules, there aren't rules. Like, you get to have fun and you are done and you walk away and you don't have to make the same decisions again. Like, I love theatre. I do a lot of it. But I don't want to be on the same script for months and months and months and months and months. I want to do something different every so often. And sometimes I want to be a kobold, and sometimes I want to be a wizard, and sometimes I want to be a halfling that disappears on a regular basis. Like, that's fun, right? I get to do things that are different.
I just love the shared storytelling. Like everyone at the table or, in the troupe is coming from a different background, different experiences, and people's brains are just fantastic. So you put them all in the same room and you just get some real gold of, I wasn't thinking about that, but that's hilarious. Here's my, opinion for you. And yeah, I just think together it's so much more fun than by yourself.
Yeah. What I like about it is it allows you to tap into that sort of childhood energy of imaginative play, and it lets you be a silly goose in a way that's like totally fine, that maybe in public people would be like, what are they doing? You're like, no, I'm a wizard now. I just like being able to play with people and tell stories, and it's just very, very silly. And I think improv and TTRPGs allow that capacity or that play space, which I love.
On a side note, so great to be at PAX where that playfulness that's driven out of us by society is just on display. Like, how incredible, right?
Cosplayers in the room. Shout out to the cosplayers in the room.
To build on that, I think one of the great things about both improv and TTRPG is I'm sure we all have these ever so slightly destructive thoughts. like, should I push that old lady off a bridge is a fairly frequent one. And of course, in real life, you don't do that. But in... Yeah.
Shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, shouldn't as well.
You never know who's in the room,
Keeping
Stephen.
Stephen away from bridges after this, just so everyone's aware.
But those thoughts, those instinctive thoughts where you go, I want to do this, and you go, oh wait, no, I shouldn't because of consequences. And in these spaces, you get to just go, what if I was playing somebody who, let's maybe push away from pushing people off bridges, but what if I was somebody who, I was in a bakery and I decided, you know what, I want to try and steal this pie. Well, that's something I'd never do in real life, but I want to see what happens. I like that you can sort of push that and see what happens. It's again, it ties into that rule breaking in a safe and non-crime based environment.
Although both the examples you gave were crimes.
Yes.
Yeah, I rolled a stealth check of a 19, so I will steal that pie. Thank you very much.
This is your 5-minute call for 6 p.m. If anyone has other panels to go to, this is your 5-minute call. Don't be ashamed. I literally said I would do it. Great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, those guys.
Bye, panelists.
Someone from my side? Et tu, Brute, et tu! No, I'm kidding. Have a great day. Have a great PAX. All right, let's move on. Do any of you have your own golden rules? We just talked about, we'll limit it to one.
I have one. I have one because it's the same thing I write on the whiteboard when I'm teaching small humans, which is there are no mistakes, there is only effort and opportunity. So you can mess up, it's fine, no matter. You can use that to do whatever you want with it. But the same goes for someone else doing something that you didn't expect or didn't want them to do at the table is not a mistake.
Yeah.
It is, they've put in effort and there is now an opportunity. It is a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't handle not
Other
doing
people have
your thing or
agency.
other people feeding in, TTRPGs might not be for you, or you just might need to find a DM who just wants to like solo with you, which is a possibility, which is totally a possibility. I've played solo games before.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything here?
Mine's communication is key. And I think that works for, all aspects in life as well. If you're not feeling something, don't be afraid to say it. If you are feeling something, don't be afraid to say it. I think it's just so important to talk to each other, but also, have that, the body language as well of, I'm here to play.
Yeah, and mine is, I can't say the word, but mine is don't be an a-hole. Be nice. Be nice.
Don't be a copper nanotube.
Yeah. Just be nice in the improv or the TTRPG space. Yeah.
Thank you, science people in the room.
Beautiful. All right, we might move on from this one if that's all right. All right. Kate, I'm going to throw this one to you. I feel like you might have some good ones for me here. What's been some behavior you've witnessed that you would encourage others to avoid?
But that's what my character would do.
Oh, come
Oh, really? Is your character being puppeteered by someone who is not you? I'm really sorry. It's a collaborative game. If you want to come in and just do your thing, cool, go play, with yourself. It's very much that thing of you are here to play with other people, and if your character doesn't want to play well with others, and I would write that on your report card, then why are they here? Make your character want to be here. Make your character want to engage. Yeah. I don't care if it's what your character would do, change what your character would do.
Yeah, and there is, adapt and change there. I once played at a bachelor party with people I didn't know. We came in very chaotic, except one person playing a paladin who did not like law breaking at a bachelor party game, is what it is. Halfway through, he went, oh, my character's not enjoying this. I can't sort of shake that. He leaves. I come back as a different, chaotic, fun character. Completely, was like, here's his brother, and his brother's been in jail,
Right.
and he's out.
But exactly.
Also like that. It's make believe.
That.
Yep. Totally. Especially if you're loving the vibe, but not loving where the story's going. Those can be separate things.
And also, if you are going to do that, communicate with your GM, because sometimes it might just be that your character is done, their arc is done.
Yeah. Yep, totally. Anybody else, any behaviors around the table, or even in improv rooms?
Just generally being respectful, and that even comes down to little things like when it's not your turn or a scene that you're not in, don't pull out your phone and start reading messages from something else. I know it's hard. They're very, very addictive. They're right. Sinjin.
Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just about that, showing respect to other people, showing respect to them as they play. It feels like very simple stuff, but I think it is worth repeating.
The behavior is being disrespectful, just to clarify. Stephen doesn't hate respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not this version of him.
Yeah. And blocking. So in improv, blocking is it's the opposite of yes anding. It's just saying no to someone's offer. Yeah, just being nah, no, I don't want to do that. No, just go with it. You're working together. As Kay said, it's collaborative storytelling. you want to be there because you want to have fun, hopefully.
There are obviously complexities in there. You can, if someone is doing something that is offensive to you, hurtful to you, that makes you uncomfortable, you can stand up for yourself there. But often that's a little stop the scene, and we'll get to a bit of like stopping scenes coming up as well and fighting for that. But just the no, because you're like, that's a dumb idea, is just like, go with it. Go with the flow. You'll have a great time. You might end up somewhere really different that you never expected. And that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. All right, let's move it along. I'm going to actually throw an audience question in that I think is a really fun one. So we'll come back to this one.
Yeah.
Do any of you have any default accents and can do them for me for different like races or species that we're playing with? Like someone just wanted to know the voices you do.
Like my little Irish halflings that all talk like this because they do.
Stunning, stunning. Anyone else? I also think, like, I also do an Irish halfling all the time. My dwarves are all Scottish. Sometimes, like, something you're comfortable with, and that is an accent or a voice you're allowed to do, that you should do, is a whole other... Look, I'm just saying, go and look into that more. I'm not the one to give that lecture. No. But going to your fallback ones isn't uncreative. It allows you to be creative in there. So, yeah, I think this one is someone, like... has asked us about accent, but I also think it's a really good opportunity up here to talk about voice as well. Stephen, I think you're a good one to talk about this a little bit. I can see, I saw a hand back there. I'll jump to your hand in a moment.
So I have pretty much one accent, and you're hearing it now. And what that means is that when it comes to doing different voices, if that's needed, what I tend to focus on from the performance background is ways and manners of speaking. So it becomes more about the emotionality of a character or their temperament. So if I'm playing, say, a gnome who it's their first time in the big bad world and they're very nervous about everything, then their voice is going to be a little bit quicker and a little bit more stuttery and this kind of thing. And this isn't an accent. This is just my voice when I'm nervous and stuttery. And so it's just about playing around with those aspects, and you can build really effective different characters without ever having to put on an accent or a voice, if that's something that you're not comfortable with.
Yeah, so like in acting, we talk about pace, pitch, and pause are like 3 things you can use to try and like tweak your just regular voice. So how fast you're speaking, like the pitch of it, or where you leave gaps. And just doing that can create all sorts of emotions, all sorts of different characters, and you don't even have to put on a voice for it.
Yeah. I think you'll find a lot of people who've been playing these games for a while have their default voices that they go to. Look, I do this pretty semi-professionally, and I do it in a spectrum where like people are charged money to come and see me perform. I'm not a voice actor. I'm not excellent at accents. My Scottish accent kind of can drift between kind of pirate and sometimes a little bit Irish. But by gum, do I love my homeland, and I will go there as much as I can, and I get slightly better. No, I've lost it again. And so it will dip. But it is just a way of distinguishing character a lot of the time. But yeah, to whoever asked that question, I've got your name down here, to the wonderful, or is it Jess who asked that question? The answer is just yes. Someone really wanted to riff on that. No, they're doing this, so we're good. We'll get to questions as well at the ends if you haven't given one in. So I see you back there.
The other very quick thing I'll say is, it's not a Scottish accent; it's a Dwarven accent. It's not a French accent. It's a Tabaxi accent, and there can be different Tabaxis around the world that sound different. So my Tabaxi doesn't have to sound like yours. It's fine.
We're gonna move through some of these. We will get to questions after. Don't worry. We've got a bit of room for that. Do any of you have any pre-show or pre-session rituals? We do warm-ups in theatre. It's a big thing that's built into getting ready for a show because we're performing and our body is our tool. It's the thing that we use. But it's the same at a session, sitting down at a table. And some of you may have done a D&D session where the next day at work, you cannot speak properly because you've been doing a voice for 4 hours and you didn't warm up. So do any of you have any tips for like, or any rituals that you do?
Yeah, what Kate is pointing to right now, hydration, and by that we mean water.
Specifically Coolridge.
but yeah, making sure that you've got obviously water there, you're keeping your fluids up, and just because you're going into a session, a TTRPG with your friends, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be engaging, your voice and things like that for a prolonged period of time in a way that can cause damage if not done properly. You don't care for yourself properly. So even just very basic warm-ups, if any of you have been to a theatre class or seen people doing it and just doing the very basic sort of warming up breathing exercises. Maybe some of you have been in choirs, and the sort of exercises that you do there, they're really great things that you can even just do in the car on the way over, even on the bus. You'll keep a seat free next to you. Yeah, they're things that you can do that will even just 5 minutes will help you in the long run.
Yeah, just some gentle humming, anything like that is very, very helpful. But it also, it does tie into the make bold choices, but when you're making bold choices, maybe temper your vocal choices. Like
Sustainable. Bold.
Yeah, sustainably bold choices as opposed to like
Sustainably bold.
Really great. Like if I made this choice and wanted to speak like this for 4 hours,
I would just shred my voice. So yeah, sustainably bold.
Also, like ritualistically, before I do a session, I don't murder. That's the ritualistic that comes to mind. I will run through as a GM the voices of the characters who might come up in this session, and I'll just like do some cool lines. I'll just say some lines that I think are cool, often in the shower, and I'll go over my notes. Going over notes is a ritual. It is summoning the magic of memory, which is very important at a table.
Also means you know what to play with.
Yeah. It is like magic. The player who remembers everything and the player who keeps like good notes, you are magic. You are the real wizard. Every GM will say that. Beautiful. 100%. All right, moving on. All right, we're going to toss this one here to Rhi. We're going to toss, how do you conceive a character? In your opinion, what makes a well-rounded, interesting, and entertaining character? You're someone who, in my opinion, makes some of the most incredible characters that I play with. I've played with you a lot for almost your full 10 years. I introduced you to these games, and I'm just like constantly stunned by the choices you make.
Thank you. I think for me, getting into a character, I always change the voice so it's not my own voice, because I feel like that allows me to be someone else and not just always fall back on my own default. And I think a big one is, for this in particular, is don't be afraid to have flaws.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to play with a perfect character. Like, that's so boring. Perfect people are boring. So perfect characters are too. And I think that and it goes back into that, don't be afraid of failure, because sometimes those failures can make a flaw for you. And make it so much more entertaining for yourself and everyone else at the table as well.
Yeah. I think flaws are great. Flaws. And that's why like so many character creation books will have tables you can roll on for flaws, for things, secrets that you can have. Really, really useful to have in there. Yeah.
And I think as well, forgot, like relationships are super important. Think of your own relationship, like your character-wise, your relationships in that world, whether it's someone at the table as well, maybe they're your sister or nemesis. Think about your relationship to the world as well, if you're having a good time or if you're actually having a bad time and you want to explore that kind of arc as well.
I think revisit those as well, because sometimes we start campaigns and no characters know each other, which is not my favorite way to start a campaign. I think they're better when people know each other for some reason, your classmates, your whatever.
Yeah.
But a week in, 2 weeks into the timing the campaign, your characters have new relationships. They have shared experiences. So revisit those. Don't just sit in them once.
Relationships are a great thing to bring to a character, and they're a great gift to give to your game master. I remember the year that we won the Best Comedy Award at Fringe World in Perth for Call of Cthulhu. It's the year that a player came and said, my character was raised in a cult and was going to be sacrificed. She woke up, everyone was dead except her brother. And I went, leave that with me. And the whole time there was someone kind of on the distance watching them the whole time. And at the very end of that season, her brother calls, kidnapped one of her players, massive cliffhanger to end on, standing ovation from the audience. Like, it's just a gift for me to be like, ooh, yes, great. I get to like fill this world even more and with you, and there's tension and you're in the know and you know more. And it's then a character that the player can build more than the GM in ways. And that's really great and really fun. So it's so great as a GM to be surprised by an NPC. So great. It feels untrue, but it's true. Great. Anyone else have anything on characters?
Like thinking about secret desires or wants as a way to like nourish the complexity of those characters. Like it's so satisfying if your character is like, but like what I really want to do is to be reunited with my pet sparrow or something, like just, and I know that's very specific, but like having that will like lead you on a real journey throughout the whole campaign or throughout your improv scene or anything like that.
I'm going to hold us there because an audience question has suddenly become very relevant here. So your pet sparrow.
Yes.
I had an audience question from Jasmine. Jasmine, are you still in here? I hope you are somewhere. Jasmine asks, what is the weight of an unladen sparrow?
African or European?
It was clarified as European.
Well done.
So Sinjin, as the one with the pet sparrow, please enlighten us.
I don't know.
It's improv. Steven, are you going to know this?
Look, the way, obviously they fluctuate through life. When a sparrow is born, obviously it weighs less than an ounce. When it develops to its full size, the heaviest a sparrow has ever actually been weighed is 2.1 kilos, and that was a monster. But your average weight of a sparrow is about 0.3 to 0.4 kilograms.
That's a truly worthy improv down there. Truly worthy. That's not true at all. All right.
I mean, I do actually have the answer, but that's beside the point.
That's not what this panel is about. It's not about facts.
It's a much better answer.
Steven, do you have anything else you want to jump in about interesting and entertaining characters?
Yeah, actually, a really great thing that you can do is the things that you are interested in that are maybe not necessarily connected to the game world are maybe decisions that can help inform your character. It could be that you have an interest away from TTRPGs in, say, cooking, for example. That's something that you could include in your character for just building up those things. If you have an expertise or an interest in a particular area and it's appropriate for your character, you can work that in, because sometimes throwing in like your character having hobbies or interests is really fascinating. A character that I'm playing in a Cthulhu campaign with Scott over there is a very gruff sort of Irishman sailor from the 20s who we discovered about 30 sessions in has been painting watercolors his whole life. And it was not something that I came with. And it's actually helped us on multiple occasions, which I was not expecting. But yeah, things like that allow space for those questions that you have. You don't have to walk in with a fully formed character from the very beginning. And if there are those interests that come up, yeah, they might like watercolors. Give it a try.
A little improv tip to any GMs out there as well. After about 5 sessions of whatever game you're playing, stop and ask your players if they want to change anything on their character sheet because of what they've discovered in improvising and role-playing their character. Because some proficiencies you took might be different. Some choices around your characteristics might be different. So don't be afraid to just let them change it to match what they're doing. They don't have to, but you can offer that and it doesn't break the game.
One of my favorite things that one of my GMs does is when we level up, you can take the spells you think you're going to take, and up until the point that you have used it, you can change it.
Yeah, heck yeah. Love it. Love it.
Because I don't know if I'm ever going to cast a fireball. Probably.
Always.
Now we're going to talk about bleed quickly for a moment. Bleed is just a TTRPG word for method acting. Method acting for everyone. If you ask people who love movies, who love Joaquin Phoenix, they'll be like, method acting's great. If you ask an actor or someone who directs actors, method acting is great. It's bad.
Can we all pull the face that we think of when we hear method acting?
So Bleed is the TTRPG version of that. The guys who made the Vampire the Masquerade game released a little handbook recently, was how to encourage bleed but in your characters, which is where your character drifts into your real life before the session to get into character. That's bad. Don't publish that, everybody. But there are then safe ways of getting in and out of character, ways where you can shed that, because it's just a character. It's just make-believe. It's just playing. And we know that when you are playing these games, because you play with so much time, they can feel really real. The emotions can feel really real. And there's nothing about shedding a tear, nothing wrong with shedding a tear at the table, nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean method in there. But when you carry it with you outside is where it gets really dangerous. So I want to hear from you guys. Is there anything that you do to shed or get into a character that is a safe way to do it, that you would recommend?
Yeah, I costuming is costuming might seem like you're taking it into LARP realm, but costuming can be a really safe way of having a character that you adopt and then take off at the end of a session. So you can, maybe you have a specific hat you wear. So you put the hat on, you become the character, and then at the end of it, you shake it off, take the hat off, and you're done for the day. But like little rituals and things like that can also be really satisfying. Maybe you have a shower after your session to get rid of the tension sweat, but also just to get rid of the character as well, and just like reset and get back into your own body.
Totally.
I think have a conversation as well with whoever it is around you, even if it's people who you were playing with, about what just happened in the session. And I think as well, you can always talk about your character in third person, and then that allows you to sort of leave your character at the table. You're now remembering you're back to your own self.
Yeah. I think we do a thing for a couple of games that I play in where we go around at the end, and it's like every session we go around at the end, we talk about our favorite moments, which are usually about other people. And the idea is that you are taking off the I'm playing as a character and you're putting on the I'm thinking about this session we just did. And it breaks, whilst you're still with the same people, the tensions, and it stops you from taking the relationships you are forging in those games and taking those into your real relationships as well. So if you're frustrated at somebody in character, don't take it outside.
Yeah. Steve, do you have anything for like getting into character?
Well, costumes is actually a really great, great one that Sinjin mentioned, and I'd say it can even just be. There's versions I've heard of this where people just have to have the right shoes, for example, and they may not be the shoes that their character are wearing, but it's like I'm going to go play D&D. I'm going to put on this pair of trainers or comfy shoes, and it helps. It's just like rituals and little things. In terms of getting into character as well. It can even just be little keywords or phrases, things which are key, or even like if your character has developed something of a catchphrase, even just saying that or saying those kind of things, similar to things that you do for getting into the voice as well, I think. Rituals are just tremendously useful in that respect, because also it means that you're going, okay, I'm now moving into the character space, so let's do that. And it also helps with them moving out of the character space at the end to avoid bleeding.
Yeah, we talked about like physical choices as well. So like while we've made vocal decisions, you can choose physical choices. So maybe a character has a particular gesture they do all the time. And so that's a great way to go. Like I'll just do that gesture a couple of times. Great, I'm in the character. And then afterwards you're like, all right, shake it off. We don't need that gesture anymore. It's cool. I'm not that character anymore. I'm going back to my real life. Yeah.
Genuine question. Who has sets of dice for their different characters?
Yeah.
That's good. Yes. I say nothing more.
Right.
Put those dice away at the end of the game.
All right. We've talked about your own character, but then taking that further, what makes a great scene with someone else, and what makes a great scene partner? Let's toss to Kate.
Yeah. I think the big thing is that generosity, right?
Yeah.
We are all, it's the exact opposite of what I said before about bad behavior. It is, we are both here having an actual conversation. We do this in real life. We can do it in game where you're talking to somebody and you're coming to stuff together, right? You can not like another person, but trust me, you'll be civil with them at work. So take those same thoughts, those same things, which in improv class, we drill all the time, right? You're being generous to the other person, you're yes-anding their ideas, you're bouncing it backwards and forwards, and you're not taking over.
Correct. A really great thing as well is if you know that a scene is specifically about one character, say we're doing a scene that is very specific to like that character's personal journey, understand that you being there as one of the other players is that you are there to support them on that journey. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on their side. You can be someone who's like, I don't think we should be going to this temple to retrieve the thing that you need, but I'm going to help you anyway. But being aware that as a player, you're there to help them get to that story moment and see what happens next. And that's really, really important to do, because then when you get to your significant scene, the players will support you in that particular journey.
Yeah. I think that as well, the more you play with people, the more trust you build and the more you learn what they love. As a GM, I love feeding players something totally in their wheelhouse or avoiding things that I know that they don't love. It doesn't mean that they're not challenged, but it means that you avoid something that makes it uncomfortable or that it frustrates them and that makes them feel stupid. Like there are friends who play D&D who don't love a dungeon. They don't love a puzzle. I recently played in Call of Cthulhu. We played something that two of you loved because it was the dumbest nightmare house betrayal, house on the hill kind of thing that you two loved because there were dumb scares in there. But one player at our table found it really frustrating, and about halfway through was like, I'm not enjoying this. And you stop and you change and you pivot and you put an exit sign there and you be able to move that along because you got to learn that.
And also, as fellow players, we understand that.
Yep.
Like, just because we like the dumb puzzle house, if someone has been generous enough to sit there through a couple of sessions and then go, yeah, I'm really not vibing this, then you should go, well, all right, I've had my fun. We've done this. Let's try something else that we can all enjoy.
Yeah.
That's part of it too. It's about you, the person playing, being supportive as well as your characters being supportive.
And now I know that Rhianna and Stephen love a cat made of ears.
Perfect.
Only ears.
And to tie it back to the title of the
To be fair, the solution to that room was to play a trumpet at it. And it's like, because it was made of ears, so the loud noise made it go away.
I have many awards.
No, I was going to say, to tie it back to the thing, improv classes will teach you to be a good scene partner.
Yep.
Because you do not get a choice, right? I occasionally teach very small people about drama skills, and often, if I'm going in as a relief teacher, we'll do improv games with them about confidence building and sharing, because that's what primary school students need to learn.
Yeah.
And two prov scenes, get up, say 3 lines to each other and move on, is exactly what you're doing in a TTRPG all the time.
Yeah.
So, just to tie it back to the thematic of the actual panel.
Yeah, we're coming near to the end. We've got a couple of questions left here. If we don't get to any of your, we've done some audience questions. If we don't get to any of yours and you have some burning ones, we'll meet you in the foyer. So breathe easy, and you can ask us your burning questions out there, and we'll be able to answer them afterwards. There, is it ever okay to stop a scene? Rhi, I'm going to toss to you for this one.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're not comfortable, or even if it's not even a matter of being comfortable, or, it's something shocking. If you're and this is like at the table, if you're in a scene and you actually just genuinely can't remember, you've taken so many notes and you want to flick through them, I think it's completely fine to say to the GM, actually, can you come back to me? I just really want to look through my notes. And then they'll go to someone else, they'll have their scene. And then when they come back to you, you'll be ready, and you'll have much more fun doing that as well, rather than just trying to push through and then fumble it and then think about it for years later.
You don't see a lot of it on streams of D&D because those people are doing it for entertainment's sake.
Yeah.
Okay? At your house table, stop a scene. Stop a scene when you want to stop a scene.
100%.
Also, sometimes you do, but
Sometimes you
you don't
do.
know that you have. Because a lot of us, so as someone who APs on stream a lot, we have behind the scenes comms that you can't see.
Yeah. Yep.
And I have DM GMs and gone, reminder, big warning light, needle phobia, I can feel this. And they just went, yes, we're just going to pivot away from that. And I'm like, thank you very much. I didn't have to say anything. It still happens.
And I think that's why improv troops will often rehearse. You kind of think, why are you rehearsing if it's improv? It's about getting to know each other and getting to know what each other's comfortable with, so that you can stop in that environment and go, actually, can we not play a scene with needles in it? And then when you get to a show, you know each other enough to be like, okay, we're not going to introduce that here because that's not going to be fun for anyone.
And in improv, we have games based around it. There's a game called New Choice where you will say something and someone will call out new choice. You got to pick another one. You got to let it go. And in improv, when we also change a scene or stop a scene, we have a word for it. We call it editing. You edit the scenes.
Because you're collaboratively telling a story, so anyone at any time can choose to edit. Because you work together and because you rehearse and because you practice together, you get a feel for each other, and you're like, all right, so they want me to edit this point, probably. So they've sung a song or done a thing here. All right, I'll edit, and then I'll come in with an offer. Yeah.
I'm going to skip ahead to our final question, and arguably what I think is probably the most important question here when it comes to TTRPGs and for doing improv as well. It's not this next one. I just have to skip past it. But that's a great question.
My only tip is write notes.
All right. All right, St. John, I'm going to toss this one to you to start with. How do you roll, pardon the pun, with failure? Thank you, whoever keeps laughing. You just keep laughing at everything I say. I really love it.
We appreciate you.
How do you roll with failure?
I feel like once you've built a safe space with people and you know that everyone is going to have your back, you've built a space where you can fail. and it's spectacular, and like the most amazing things will come out of it. But we're talking about like rolling a nat 1 and critically failing. Like some of those moments are the greatest moments you'll ever see in a TTRPG scene. But also like coming back to that playfulness of being a child and allowing improv and TTRPGs to give you a space to do that. Like it's fine to fail. It's funny. It's funny. It can be funny and stupid. Like there's a reason Australia's Funniest Home Videos was a thing for so long.
It was so good.
It was so...
What's that? I'm only 18.
I just showed my age. Yeah. Scott doesn't know what that is. He's too little. Yeah.
Young. What is young?
Yeah, he's little.
I'm still growing.
He's just a little guy. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun and funny. It's fun and funny. And if you have a team around you who is supportive and nurturing, then they will join in on that, and you can all laugh at the stupidity of whatever just happened, playing a trumpet at a creature made of ears or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Comedy gold.
Fail forward.
Fail forward.
Fail forward.
Yep.
You failed. Okay. So what next? You didn't fail and sit on the ground and cry. Maybe you did, but like something happened when you failed. So what's next? Right? It's the yes and.
It's the no but.
It's
the no but for the GM as well. The failure. Yeah.
Last night yesterday in the Meeples and Dragons game, right? A whole bunch of us really sucked at perception checks. And then we realized we had like a hat that we could just make talk because we were in the Feywild. So the GM made the hat talk.
Yep.
And stuff happened.
Yeah.
Or turn it into a bit. Like I played a home game with some friends, and I had a friend who was a dwarf, and he was determined that he was gonna do a flip. And dwarves don't flip well.
They are flipped well by other people.
Yeah. Nobody tosses a dwarf, nor do they flip themselves. And so every single time though, every encounter we did a thing, he'd be like, all right, now I'm gonna do a flip. And every time he would fail, and it was beautiful. And then the one time he nailed it, it was so good. We were like, flip the dwarf!
Was his name Flip? Because if not, that is a missed opportunity.
And this is not just us. Like, for those of you who love Dimension 20, Fantasy High, Fabian's and the table, getting onto that table, it's the flip thing, and now he can just do it.
I want to do an acrobatics check instead of an athletics check.
Such a great bit. Such a great bit. And it becomes a great bit. And then the success is really huge as well.
Yeah. Also, to anyone who is playing a non-charismatic character, be the face of the party.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Beautiful. Does anyone else have anything in our last couple of seconds to chime in here about failure?
Don't feel bad.
Yeah, that's really important as well. A lot of things that we term as failure in TTRPGs and improv, they're not actually failing. You are not failing. You are not morally or ethically bad because you have done this thing wrong. It is just you tried something and it didn't work out. We are people. We try things. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but you learn from that and move forward, and maybe you'll approach that problem differently next time.
And a big thing in improv is the scene has happened. Don't think about it. You can't do it again. So there's no point in just keeping thinking about it. Obviously, learn from it and grow, but you can't redo it once it's happened. So don't worry about it.
And that, gang, is all we have time for today. Thank you so much.
Should we get a giant room selfie? Because I have the arms of a...
We'll grab a giant room selfie. We'll get that set up. But we hope that today has inspired you to take that next leap into developing your improv skills. A massive thank you to all of our panelists out there. We're just going to give...
All right. You're on the edge, just switch in. It's not...
That's all for today. We hope you learned something useful on Behind the Screen. But always remember to follow your own instincts, thoughts, and feelings when it comes to your own games. There's no one way to do it. The most important thing is that everyone's having fun at the table. I've been Scott McArdle. We'll see you next time.